everybody. Back to do a different kind of video. I haven't done one before. I wouldn't necessarily call it a Raw review, but a lot of things happened last night on Raw that I have a strong opinion about. So I'd like to talk about it. Mostly because this is the pre-Rumble Raw. It's supposed to be like a really good show. It's supposed to grab you, make you want to buy the pay-per-view, fork over that money to watch. It didn't really do it for me this time. The show started out with the Authority in the ring. Stephanie and Triple H got there, and she's all trying to be lovey-dovey and like give him a kiss and hug, and like it's really awkward. I don't think he wanted anything to do with it. That's my opinion, but it was a little awkward. They talk about this big return, and everyone's all excited about Batista, right? So they start like they're going to introduce Batista. First of all, you can't have him come out like in a cool way and like do something, you know, unexpected. Like everybody knew he was coming back tonight. I don't know why they couldn't wait till the Rumble to bring him back. But don't just start off the show and be like, hey, here he is. Like, that's a little bit awkward, and it just doesn't bring that wow factor that's supposed to be like, oh shit, that music, like it's Batista. So they start like they're going to introduce him, and instead Randy Orton's music hits. Big surprise, there's always someone interrupting someone, as if we don't know it's like already queued up to play their music and whatnot. Randy comes out, they talk and blah 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 and all the normal stuff, and he's so bad for attacking Cena's dad and whatever. Not the best promo, especially for the opening of Raw. It just didn't flow right. I felt like there were a lot of pauses and spaces, and like someone was maybe missing a cue. And then Triple H starts on him about lower the bass in your voice and stupid shit. But he talks about all the people that are a threat to Randy Orton. Like, you gotta get through John Cena first, and then you gotta get through Lesnar, and then you gotta get through Batista, who I'm sure is coming for you. And then he tells him that he has to do all this shit tonight, like rematch with Kofi Kingston, because he shouldn't have lost. He needs to make it right. He's got to do something with John Cena, so he's going to bring up this video camera so everyone knows when John Cena gets there. Stupid, but that's when he says, you're going to have to do all of it alone, and Batista's music hits. The crowd was like, kind of excited. I mean, you could tell there were some diehard Batista fans in the audience, but it just wasn't like an epic return like it should have been. I mean, it's Batista. For years, Scotty and I have been like, oh, he's coming back tonight, that's going to be Batista, and it hasn't been, and it's like, oh, cool, there he is, and he's wearing this like tight-ass jacket and tight skinny jeans, and he just, it was not cute. You know, the belly button tattoo and the nose ring kind of tell you enough, but he just looked flaming in that outfit. Like, yeah, he's ripped. Yeah, he could kick your ass, but he just didn't look very intimidating. He's got on the sunglasses. When he took them off, he looked like he had, like, Botox injections, and, like, I guess you would be overcome with emotion if you had just come back, hadn't been there in years, like, all these people love you, but it just didn't feel right, and it felt like it just went on for too long, and he didn't say anything really, and like, it wasn't great. And later in the show, I think it may have been Brad Maddox said it was like the most epic return in Raw history. Like, bullshit. After that, it's Cody Rhodes and Goldust and Big E versus The Shield. Same old shit, different day. But I do think that they're planting the seed for Goldust and Cody. If you listen to the commentators, JBL, you know, throwing in there that, oh, Cody's stealing all Goldust moves, and, like, they're just trying to create trouble in your head so that when they turn on each other, it will be like, oh, I knew it was coming. I think that they should turn on each other, and I think that they should fight each other at WrestleMania. And the only thing that could make it better is if their dad, Dusty Rhodes, had two special guests referee the match. It would be fucking awesome. Anyway, I'm big on, like, watching, like, for foreshadowing and, like, watching what they're gonna do. And I think that because of the camera angles and the views on Roman Reigns' face and the way he was looking at Big E, I think that they are going to put Roman Reigns and Big E against each other. I think that Roman Reigns is going to take that belt. I think it's going to cause a lot of trouble in the Shield, and, I mean, among other things, there's probably going to be some drama at the Rumble. But I think that there's a definite Intercontinental belt in Roman Reigns' future, and I think he will take it off Big E Langston. So next, might not have been next, I fast-forwarded through some of it, but they show right before the commercial break this big picture of Daniel Bryan and say, oh, Daniel Bryan breaks his silence. Like, it hasn't been that long since we heard him talk. Like, it's not really that big a deal. I guess everyone wants answers. He comes out and says that he was trying to get in the Wyatt's head and, like, being indoctrinated into the family, and who knows. I think, personally, that they should have made this last a lot longer than it did. It was cool to see the reaction. It was cool to see him turn on Bray Wyatt, but that should have been something like a WrestleMania moment, or even, like, a few pay-per-views down the road. Like, let people start to turn on Daniel Bryan. Let people start to get really mad at him. Let him find out some big, deep, dark secrets about the Wyatt family. And then have him turn. Don't just like, oh, one day I'm a good face and I want to be the best and I'm, you know, fighting for the belt. And then the next day I go join the Wyatts and the next day I'm back. Like, that doesn't evolve any characters. It doesn't really do much. It's just, they always do things too fast nowadays. Like, back in the day, they would have made that last, like, 6, 8 months, a year, anything. It could have been so much better. Let's see. He did make the comment, and he said, when he came out and everyone was chanting, he said, oh, and some people say I shouldn't be the face of this company. You are the face of this company, and everyone knows you are. Like, just because they say that Randy Orton is, like, he's the heel, you're the face, you're gonna get the belt eventually, everyone knows this. So, after that, we have to go into, like, a boring match to calm everybody down. So, it's R-Truth and Xavier Woods against somebody, I don't know. But, this is the first time I've really paid attention to Xavier Woods. We usually fast forward over those matches. But I think that he reminds me of a black Carlito. Just tell me what you all think, if you agree. Like, throw an apple in his hand, it could definitely be Carlito's twin. So after that, we go to the back, and we see Stephanie McMahon, like, bitching out Kane about him attacking CM Punk and all that drama last week. Okay, so she says, like, you're in the authority, you're, you know, management, and you can't put your hands on an employee, and what bullshit. Like, less than a couple months ago, she was, like, beating the shit out of Big Show in the middle of the ring, like, slapping him multiple times. Like, really? Fuck that. Like, you all talk about hypocrisy on here. That's fucking hypocritical. So then, it's the New Age Outlaws come out. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the match, but I'm going to talk about them. It's great to see them come back, like, for special Raws. It's cool to see people come back. It is. But why are they dragging this on? Like, why are they making it a big deal that they, like, turned on Punk or whatever? Like, who gives a shit? Most people don't even know who they are. Like, I love DX. I love them both. I think they're talented. But they're old men. Like, you've got all these people on the roster that don't get any airtime, and you're throwing these people? Like, what? Why? What sense does that make? And the shittiest part of all is you're going to give them a pre-show belt match. Like, you're going to put the title on the line and give them a chance to win a fucking belt? You've got all kinds of people that are tag teams that could legitimately win that belt. But instead, you're going to put the New Age Outlaws against Goldust and Cody Rhodes. And there's no animosity there. I mean, there's nothing really going on there. Just so you can kill some time in the pre-show. I mean, I know you don't want to let people watch, you know, good matches for free on the internet before it starts, but Jesus, like, it's stupid. Like, they are retired. Let it be. Just, if they want to come back every now and again, but don't give them spots on the biggest shows and the biggest pay-per-views of the year. I think it's really fucked up. After that, they did the Mae Young tribute. They showed it on SmackDown last week. I saw that. But I think that it was super classy. I think it was great. I think it gave everyone an opportunity to just sit back and, like, realize that she was, like, the coolest fucking lady ever. Like, you can't have anyone cooler than her. There's not many people on this planet that can make everyone around them smile. But in every clip of her, it didn't matter who was in it, it didn't matter who she was with, everyone was laughing. And I think that's awesome. And I think they did a really good job, and I think it's cool they showed it twice. And then we come back to the show. It's Del Rio and Mysterio. Del Rio's not my favorite. I think he's very talented. I think Mysterio is too. They flip-flop him so much. You never know, like, is he a heel or a face? And you don't have to shove the fact that he's Mexican down our throats. Like, it's cool, but you don't shove the fact that, John Cena's an American. Well, yeah, John Cena, I guess. But that all the other ones are Americans, or, it bothers me that you have to just have them in a feud because they're both Mexican or Hispanic. Like, fuck that. Let them do something. Let them, like, do something relevant. So, I guess you can argue that Batista comes out and, like, has words with Del Rio, and Del Rio attacks him. I don't understand that either. I guess Del Rio has been talking shit, but to me, the last match before Batista left was against John Cena. It was an I Quit match, and John Cena made him quit. He about fucking killed him. Like, ridiculous. And you're gonna have him come back and, like, get in Del Rio's face and Randy Orton's? Like, I want fucking revenge. Like, I'm gonna make you quit, Cena. Like, I'm gonna make you fucking retire. Like, why not do that? Have something entertaining and then get John Cena off, Randy Orton's back. Nobody wants him to have the belt. Like, I doubt he's gonna win the belt anyway. Do something with him and Batista and let Batista fucking kick his ass. It's only fair. So, next it's Big Show, Brock Lesnar. They get their segment before the Rumble. You all saw it. It was cool. Probably means that Brock Lesnar is going to win. But I will say that I found it funny that Big Show made Brock Lesnar look so bad that he was literally throwing computer monitors at Big Show inside the ring. Like, that is such a little kid move. Like, from across the fucking room throwing something at somebody because you're so mad and you just can't stand it. I found it really funny. I think that for Brock Lesnar to win, it'll have to be no disqualification. And I think that Friday on SmackDown, they will announce it as a no disqualification match. And if they don't, they will announce it at the beginning of the pay-per-view. I just feel like with those two guys and their talent, I feel like you kind of have to have chairs and, tables and shit like that involved. And then we get to see Tamina and AJ walk out. And it shows, like, whatever happened on the app in between the break that we were so unfortunate to miss. Basically, AJ throws cake in Tamina's face. Okay, so as she's walking back out, like, I feel like Tamina had the look on her face like I feel when I watch AJ. Like, she was fucking disgusted with her. Like, just disgusted and bored and like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why are they making me do this shit? I'm better than all these bitches. I can kick all their asses. And I'm here escorting her to the ring. Like, come on. She could whip her ass. It's gonna happen eventually, but like, let it happen. Like, why are you gonna celebrate AJ the same fucking week that Mae Young dies? Like, you're gonna let AJ have that belt for longer than any of these women that have wrestled in the WWE, and then have her throw a little pity party and scream in the back? Like, fuck that. Should be taken seriously. And a side note, I hate the Funkasaurus's new outfits. Like, I know they're not very new, but they just look like some kind of bondage S&M, like kinky shit. Just disgusting. That's when they announced the tag team belt pre-show whole thing with New Age Outlaws. Like, what the fuck? Then we get to see John Cena come in from this conveniently located camera they have out back. Okay, so you got John Cena, like, full speed ahead sprinting down this fucking area in the back. He's dressed completely in ring gear. Like, it's fucking cold outside. And he just happens to, like, get off his bus and, like, run right in, ready to wrestle. Bullshit. So, he chases Randy Orton through the whole arena. That's when Orton was fighting Kofi Kingston, and Kofi Kingston holds him, and whatever. But he literally chases him all the way to the top of the stairs, through a skybox, and Randy Orton, like, pushes the shit out of some guy. You should watch it if you haven't. It's kind of funny. They get into the skybox, Orton runs through, and John Cena stops and says, "Is everybody okay?" Like, really? So then he chases him all the way through the lobby, and there's fans that got out of their seats to walk out there for a glimpse at John Cena and Randy Orton. Like, okay. Runs outside, and Randy's just in front of him, even though he spent all that time making sure everyone was okay. And he gets in this little SUV and drives off. Just a conveniently located, like, car. They're, you know, the commentators are like, "Oh, is that just a fan sitting out there waiting to pick somebody up?" No. Like, it's gonna turn out to be somebody relevant. Probably Batista. They're gonna, like, start the whole Evolution thing back. Triple H did make a comment about Evolution. But at the end of the day, really not very significant part of the show. And then for the last 5 to 10 minutes of the entire Raw before the Rumble, it's just John Cena walking back to the ring. That's all. Like, this is supposed to be that moment when I decide, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. Instead, it's like, when will this fucking end? Like, that's it? John Cena's just gonna come back and, like, shake some hands and hug some people and take some pictures and, like, dance around the ring and let everybody cheer for him? Like, that's the ending. Whatever. But I would like to say something I forgot to say earlier. I did appreciate the fact that they started out the show with a Martin Luther King Day tribute type thing. I thought it was very classy. I thought it was well done. I thought it was neat to show different African Americans who, you know, changed the world for the better. My only comment to myself, to Scotty, was that, that would have been so much better if they only showed a black WWE champion. Then I said, oh wait, there hasn't been one. Really? Like, that's ridiculous. You can't even, like, at least show some people who have been, like, really influential wrestlers. It's just, show Muhammad Ali, he's from Kentucky, like, I appreciate that. But show somebody, like, in your field, show somebody who wrestles, who changed the wrestling business, and do a tribute to them as well. But I did appreciate it. Also, I'm not going to really make any Rumble predictions. I probably won't make a Rumble video. But I do think that Sheamus is going to come back at the Rumble. I think he's going to be one of the big surprises. I think he's going to return for a while. Excuse me. They just showed a lot of him in the different commercials and stuff last night. I think that he will definitely be one of the shocking people to come out. I've also noticed from watching WWE for so long that there's this certain formula they go by in the Raws and SmackDowns before pay-per-view. Usually, whoever has the upper hand at the end of Raw, like, example, John Cena, whoever looks better, John Cena, Big Show, Daniel Bryan, whoever looks better is going to end up losing in the pay-per-view. They kind of it's like a consolation prize. Like, you're not going to win, but you're going to look really awesome on Raw, and that's, you know, when more people are watching. So, I do think that John Cena's going to lose, and I think Big Show's going to lose, just because of that formula and nothing else. And in closing, I think it's pretty sad, like I said earlier in my video. This is supposed to be one of the best Raws of the year, you know, the 12 best Raws, or however many Raws before pay-per-views. And I think it's kind of sad that the only thing that made me even slightly want to buy Royal Rumble was when they showed the old little vignette type commercials for Rumbles in the past. Like, you know, the cool facts about the Rumble. That's it. Nothing about the show made me want to buy it. So, in closing, sorry about that, my camera fucked up a little bit. But in closing, I would really appreciate it if one of you all would spend your money on the pay-per-view and let me know what happened. You all have a nice day.